So by now you've all heard the news and seen the headlines. Jimmy Butler wants out of Miami. And while the media has been going crazy with all of these trade ideas, the truth is he isn't going to be moved by the deadline. For years, Butler has been the ultimate cancer, a player who thrives on drama, and this time his antics have finally caught up with him. At 35 years old, on an expiring deal with a max contract demand looming, teams are hesitant to take the baits. And I'm here to make the case that nobody should take the risk of trading for Jimmy Butler. Now, if this story feels like deja vu, it's because he's been here before. His rise began in 2011 as a 30th overall pick in the NBA draft, an underdog by every definition. Butler clawed his way from a bench warmer to Chicago's brightest young star and even won the 2015 Most Improved Player award while earning 3 All-Star selections. And for a brief moment, it seemed like Butler would be the face of the Bulls for years to come, but as we all know, that just wasn't the case. You see, stardom comes with expectations and tension. Derrick Rose, Chicago's hometown hero, was already the franchise's cornerstone, so sharing the spotlight wasn't easy. After a messy playoff exit in 2015, it became clear that Butler wanted to lead this team, but Rose's presence created friction that would set the stage for an eventual trade. And despite his undeniable talent, they saw an opportunity to move on and shipped him out to Minnesota in 2017. At the time, it seemed like a much-needed fresh start, but as we'll see, Jimmy Butler doesn't do fresh starts for long. Now, Minnesota was supposed to be Jimmy's new home, a chance to prove that he could actually lead a team. With young stars like Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, the Timberwolves looked poised for success, and for a while they delivered. Through February of 2018, they sat comfortably as the 3rd seed in the Western Conference, but that success didn't exactly last for long. Injuries hit Butler late in the season, and the team limped into the playoffs, sneaking in as the 8th seed after a dramatic overtime win against the Nuggets on the final day of the season. Now, this was Minnesota's first playoff appearance since the Kevin Garnett era, and while Butler did deliver, beneath the surface, trouble was brewing. The 2018 offseason turned into a soap opera, with Butler demanding a trade, frustrated with what he called a lack of effort from his younger teammates. Jimmy wanted out, and he made sure everybody knew it. In the now infamous practice, Butler took 3rd-string players and dominated a scrimmage against the Wolves starters, screaming at Towns, Wiggins, and even the team's GM, saying, "You effing need me." Then, just hours later, he sat down with ESPN's Rachel Nichols and doubled down, apologizing for nothing, looking satisfied while doing it. The Wolves eventually caved, and a few weeks into the next season, Butler was gone, traded to Philadelphia, and the message was clear. Jimmy Butler would never settle for second fiddle, and he had no problem burning bridges to get his way. In Philadelphia, Butler found himself on a team that was ready to contend. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons formed the core of a promising roster, and adding Butler was supposed to push the Sixers over the top. And yet again, for a while, it was working. The Sixers made the playoffs, cruising through the first round before falling to the Raptors in a heartbreaking Game 7 decided by Kawhi Leonard's iconic buzzer beater. To make matters worse, the cracks in Philly's chemistry was already showing as Butler wanted more touches, Simmons wanted the ball in his hands, and Embiid, well, he was just stuck in the middle. That offseason brought a tough decision for Philly, either pay Butler or Tobias Harris, and they chose Harris, forcing Butler to walk yet again to the Miami Heat. Now, this time around was supposed to be different. The Heat offered him a chance to be the guy, a leader on and off the court, and once again it worked for a while. Butler led Miami to 2 NBA Finals appearances and 4 Eastern Conference Finals appearances. And in the 2020 bubble, he delivered one of the most iconic performances of all time, nearly willing the Heat to a championship. But age and injuries have caught up with the guy, as he missed significant time last season, and his demands for a max contract feel more like a gamble than a guarantee, with Miami not willing to take that bet. So here we are again. Jimmy Butler is back on the trade block, but let's be real, what team would take the risk? He's 35 years old on an expiring deal and already plans to test free agency. Any team trading for the guy would essentially be renting him for half a season and then facing the decision of whether to hand him a max contract or let him walk for nothing. The Suns would need Beal to waive his no-trade clause, which isn't happening. The Rockets should be focusing on their young core, and the Mavs and Warriors would have to gut their rosters just to make the contracts work. Now, the clock is ticking and Miami knows it, but if the Heat could trade Butler, they would have already done it. The truth is, he isn't going anywhere, and any team that takes on that risk is gonna regret it. So like I said, ignore all this noise, this is just who Butler is. A generational talent with a generational knack for drama, and this time, the league just isn't buying any of it.